On the last episode of the Virtual Step Off, we had some crazy head-to-head battles, but unfortunately we had to let some amazing talent go. A lot of our submissions that we have received have been very body percussive or too stomp and shake. So, this week's challenge, that's right, we're taking it traditional, classic, old school style stepping. And here are the rules. Rule number 1, each submission must be no more than 64 counts. Rule number 2, a chant must be incorporated within the step. Rule number 3, no cuts, no edits for any video submissions. And rule number 4, you must have a minimum of 3 blades, 3 over-unders, 3 spins, 3 trains, 3 punches, and 3 slides. Let's find out who the judges send home tonight on the Virtual Step Off.
Are you ready for the virtual step off?
We're gonna start the competition a little different tonight. We're gonna start with the high school division. This group of young ladies has been a force to reckon with their power and their speed. That's right, Chaotic, you're up first. What a way to start this competition tonight. Let's see what the judges thought about you, Chaotic.
Wow. Okay. Ladies, great energy. However, something that I think you guys need to focus on is your musicality across the board. A lot of times your stepping sequences were so short, but they were sandwiched between a lot of talking. So by the time it was time for the step to evolve, you had already lost the attention and my focus. So I think it's really important that as you guys continue to work on your art, that you find that downbeat, find that internal rhythm, that internal pulse, so that it stays consistent from beginning to end. You had a lot of great phrases in there, but we just need to work on connecting them so that it's one complete sentence.
I agree with Ryan. Just so let's focus on your performance for a second, right? So it looks like you ladies have a lot of energy, which is great. That's something that we're always looking for. And I know as young ladies, we're often given the note to speak from our diaphragm. And I want you to consider that speaking from your diaphragm doesn't mean adding bass to your voice, but it's actually about where the air is coming from, right? Because the deeper that you make your voice, the less it's going to reach the back of the auditorium and the less it's going to sound like you are enunciating. So right now, you guys are giving us so much. You have your facial expressions, you're doing a lot with your voices, but we can't hear or understand what you're saying. So my suggestion to you, so that you can make sure that you're actually rocking this thing like you want to, is to work on speaking from your diaphragm without using so much bass. And think about overall what you're trying to express, because each time you break and you go back to that voice, then we break and we have to reconfigure, okay, what is it that we're supposed to be following along with this message? So great energy. You guys are always very precise, but let's work on that presentation.
I think that you guys were, of course, you guys are very precise, and I like that your energy is able to back up your precision. A lot of times people are precise and they don't have as much power behind their precision. So I appreciate the power that you have in your precision. I do think that a lot of the formation changes were not clear, and it's 3 of you, so they should have been a little more clear. I also think that for this one, it was just a little rough. In between when someone's talking and everyone's moving, it kind of makes it, like I can't focus on one person because I hear someone talking, I see someone else moving, I don't know exactly what's happening. So I think that to make it a cleaner performance, while someone is talking, that person should be the only one moving. I did like that you guys took the note that if one person can't get on the floor, I mean, that just keep it at one. That was great that you guys did take that note. Other than that, very precise, great energy. I just really want to see it a little more cleaner in the formation changes so that visually it's more pleasing.
This next group of young men is the youngest group in this competition. And when I say young, I mean the youngest one is in the 5th grade. BTC, it's you. You're up next.
Hello again, we are V-Town Connection, otherwise known as VTC.
But
If you don't know who we are, you will know when we are done. Our show will begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
let's go.
What a way to show these adults how it's done. Let's see what the judges thought about you.
Yo, VTC. Yes, I am here for it. As far as my goal and my purpose here is to talk about musicality and phrasing. And it's there. You guys have it. There is a complete sentence and complete idea from beginning to end, right? Even when you split into your 3-part confusion section, we don't lose that downbeat. We don't lose that pause. You guys set a BPM and you stayed there all the way to the end, and you didn't shift. And that's great, especially when there's so many polyrhythms happening at one time. The ripple, oh yeah, man. It was like that cherry on top. So kudos to your coach, your teacher, because you definitely gave us that introduction. You took us on that ride and you left that little exclamation point at the end of the statement. So good job. What I will ask you to work on, if you guys get to the next round, is the quality of your music level, right? One of the things we used to say in Stomp is if you can hear yourself, you're too loud, and you just want to work on blending. Sometimes one person is a lot heavier or stronger or louder, and what we have to do when we're in group choreography is we have to be in sync, not only in the choreography, but in our volume control.
So let's talk performance, guys. So I too always enjoy you guys. I think you have a lot of energy. So now let's just talk about specifically what our faces are looking like, right? Because it's easy to get so comfortable in focusing on our bodies that sometimes we lose it here. And you know, back in the day when we talked about modeling on America's Next Top Model, we would say smizing, because if it doesn't reach your eyes, then it's not real. So sometimes just take some moments to perform in the mirror and see what you're giving us here. And don't just rely on what we think happens in stepping all the time, which is let me stick my tongue out, right? Like there are other ways that you can emote, and understanding that each of your steps may have a different emotion. It doesn't always call for your tongue to come out or call for put on your face, right? That's not necessarily the mood that we need for each step, but I always enjoy your energy. The other thing that I want to caution you on is if you begin your step at a faster tempo, then you have to work that much harder to get under your legs, right? Like you can't cheat. You got to hit that foot when it comes to the back, right? And you got to make sure that we hear those crisp claps when you go under your legs. Then also make sure that when you're hitting your blades, that your hands don't become these kind of fins, right? You want that to be as flat as possible. Instead, we end up getting a whole lot of this. And it's because you're moving so quickly that you're just trying to fit it all in. But great job. You guys are doing really well. Hope to see you guys next week.
I'm glad that you guys took the note on moving someone else to the center. That was really good. Now, with moving someone to the center, now I saw the two people to the right of the young man starting to look around though. So that is, you still can't depend on, are we doing it right? Make sure that you have on pants that allow you to lift your leg. If they're too tight that you cannot lift your leg, or that you cannot move as fast as you need to, just pick a different pants. I will say that some of the formation changes did get a little funny when they started to move. Make sure that if you're going to change, everyone's flat or everyone is the same direction. Because if one person is kind of at an angle to get to their spot and then other people are flat, it doesn't look as clean. So you want everyone, when they're everything should move almost very box-like. So other than that, great job.
This next squad has been holding it down for South Carolina with their power, speed, and precision. That's right, Royal Diamond, it's your time to shine. I sense a little clap back. Let's see what the judges had to say in response.
Royal Diamond. What up, y'all? So my main focus is musicality, right? You started off really intense, really strong. We had that nice build, right? But once you got to your peak tempo, you have to stay there. You have to stay consistent. What happened was about halfway through, right? But the flat line was wavering. So make sure you guys are using a metronome or having someone keep time to stay with that downbeat. A lot of times when we get excited, when we're performing, that adrenaline, that passion kind of pushes us. But we have to remember that stepping is the middle point of music in movement. So they both have to be equally strong and consistent. The other thing is, this is a video. Why are y'all talking about taking a picture? And then the picture at the end was not a strong picture. It wasn't an exclamation point. Make sure that if there's a picture, that you're giving me something to take a picture of. Because now all I can think about is the fact that you said take a picture and I don't remember your stepping.
All right, performance time. So you guys are also one of my favorite teams. I love the fact that you guys have young ladies and young men on your team and that everybody is holding their own. I really enjoy that. I think your performance value is great. Same note to you guys, just because your tongue comes out doesn't mean that it's giving the audience what you want us to feel. So make sure that you're paying attention to the emotions that you're giving us. Also, just a quick thing about costuming, right? We're in the middle of the Rona. Nobody's looking for anything over the top. But consider that sometimes your jackets are in the way of your sound, right? Especially if you're having them open. So now we're hearing that that's happening within your music. Also, young men, I can't see your faces. You guys have on the baseball hat and somebody else has on the do-rag. And I don't know if you guys go on stage wearing those things, but I can't see you. And I want to.
I don't have a haircut.
Say it again. They don't have a haircut.
That's what I think.
That's why I got this hat on.
And maybe that is what it is. But it's like, I can't see you. I don't care about the haircut, but I know you don't want anybody to talk about you. So, okay, we'll go with that.
Yeah, you guys actually are extremely clean team to me. You guys are very precise in movement. Again, I'm talking about the precision and formation. So as they said, the picture at the end just wasn't a clean ending formation wise, because she's here, he's here, and then you got somebody over here.
And they're moving. They're still moving, talking about taking a picture.
Could have been at least a diamond. I mean, you guys were a diamond. Haha, get it. But other than that, I will say it's great that you guys have such a clean sound in something that in your studio, which has that much acoustic. So sometimes acoustics, you hear too much bouncing, but you guys are very, very clean with that. I think you guys have been taking the notes pretty well. I also want to hear your rhythms change a little bit as well, because the rhythms are, the ripples and things are the same. So I do want to see some changes with that.
And
also,
go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Shannon. Ladies first.
I was going to say, a note that I want to give to all of the high schoolers is that while you're in this competition, please watch some of the adult submissions, because I want you to see how you can vary your chants. The high schoolers seem to be in a place where they only have a stomp and shake kind of chanting going on. Everything is, bah, 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 and it's happening in each of the organizations, which means it may be a regional thing, or it may be just well, we haven't heard anything different. So just know that there is different music that you can play with your chants. And now that you're in a competition with people who are not in your region and people who are coming with different levels of experience, you can kind of see some other things work.
Yeah, and this is my statement is also for everyone involved. Remember, guys and girls, that this is just feedback, right? We're not criticizing you because we don't believe in you. We're providing feedback so that you can enhance your ability.
Last episode, this group barely made it through, but let's see if they can redeem themselves tonight. Dallas Homeboys, you're up next.
Said my brother, yeah. I said my bros, yeah. I said my brother, yeah. My homeboy brother. What's that you say? I said, oh, peaches are peach and a plum is a plum. This never pay nothing till the homeboys come. So if you want some, come get some. We serve it up right, let's go.
Now that's the type of submission that got you into this competition. Let's see if the judges agree.
Yo, fellas, okay. My task is musicality and phrasing. And you guys have great lines, nice ripples. The information is there. It just is not together. It doesn't piece together in a sequence that is rhythmically pleasing to the ear. I cannot appreciate the choreography because the segments of choreographies do not blend together, right? It's almost like if a DJ is playing the music playing a song and it's here, right? And you grooving, and then all of a sudden he plays something, and you're like, whoa, what's happening?
Yeah.
So the choreography rhythmically was a bit, not even a bit, it was disjointed from the beginning. And I think one of the ways that you can enhance that is, I'm sure you guys have iPhones or you have YouTube, go and get a free metronome and just play. It's called a metronome. And what it does is it keeps that steady pulse, that steady downbeat. And if you guys can perform to that, oh, y'all think y'all dope now? Let me tell you, once you get that internal heartbeat, that internal pulse, and that rhythmic roller coaster moving, your stepping will enhance, your performance quality will enhance, and your execution will enhance.
All right, performance time. So guys, each week you guys have proven that your choreography is decently advanced, right? Each week you guys have a great trick. Each week you guys do something together. You go break into a confusion and you bring it back together. So now what I want you to do is take your performance level up, because I want to be invested in what you guys are giving, and you are giving off, this is so easy for me that I could be somewhere else. Lastly, this is a note kind of for everybody, but people don't end steps anymore. The way you begin a step and the way you end a step are the most important things that happen. So you had all of this difficulty, and then at the end, we had the moment of, wait, is this the end? Because it didn't end strong.
Yeah, for me, I think that you guys are one of the more precise teams, for sure. You guys, your precision is amazing. But there's three of you. I would want to see more formation changes.
Now let's take it to the adult division. The next contestant has been making some amazing music with his body and is an amazing body percussionist. But can he stick to the traditional style of stepping? Khalid, you're up next.
Level 1, level 2, break it down. You know what to do, break.
Wow, he's really showing us that he's a versatile style stepper. Let's see what the judges thought about your submission.
Yo, collard greens, collard greens, collard greens, collard greens. Brother, yo, you know, one, the musicality and the phrasing is there, as always. I'm excited to see you step out of the body percussion realm and start to dive into the stepping phrasing, incorporating the over-unders, the slides, the shuffles, the punches. It was fire, yo, honestly. Like, I don't have much critiques. What I will say is make sure that as you're writing it, maybe drop it down in BPMs just a little bit so that it's not over the head of people. We've seen you perform fast, and maybe just diversify the palette a little bit and give us a little soul, a little funk, you know, just take us on that rhythmic roller coaster.
Yeah, so great job. So excited to see you add some of the traditional stepping into your submission. So I'm here to talk about performance, so let's get into it. We know that if you're on a stage, you're gonna capture the audience. So what I want you to do is imagine that camera is your audience. Imagine that you're on a stage and give that same energy so we can feel it through that screen. All right, so lift up your eyes so that we can see you and perform to us, because you are stepping. So now just give us that other element and look at us so I can feel you through the screen, okay?
Hands down, this was one of my favorites. I love the way that you jumped from one box to another and still kept the rhythm going. That is so creative. And I'm sure it is hard to do that much movement and on the top of a box. I feel sorry for your family. I know that they're probably yelling at you, going crazy. But Overall, it was a very, very good performance, and I really hope that you continue to move in this competition.
The judges had a lot of notes about you and your creativity on the last episode. Let's see what you did to switch it up. Jita, you're up next.
I know that you thought your step might shut it down. No Rihanna, Jay-Z, I came to run this town. It goes uno, dos, no trace, it's a step though. DRB, MAB is what I rap though. Uno, dos, tres, uno, dos. Tres, who? Get back, uno, dos, tres. It's a step though. Woo! Ha! Kick it! Huh. Throw it up!
All right, Jita, so you're not going down without a fight. Let's see what the judges had to say about your submission.
Yo, man, I am enjoying what you're presenting, most definitely. And I love the fact that you're playing in and out of the downbeat. Right? You start the tempo here, and then you slow it down, and then you bring it back up, and then you keep it there. You keep it there, and then you end it with that exclamation point. So I think that this piece really took us on a rhythmic roller coaster. Only thing that I would say is once you establish where that tempo is, even when you're going in and out of it, make sure when you come back in that you're on that clear one. There was a slight gray area, but you recovered as expected.
Jita, that's how you stop a step. So for those who have been watching and have been wondering, what do I mean by like the way you start your step and end your step has to be strong? He gives us, as Ryan puts it, that exclamation point. This step is over and there's no movement, right? So the audience is able to do what?
Wow.
You are one of the contestants that's helping us to know who you are through how you submit.
Yeah, your quality of movement is amazing, and I like that you use your arm length in your steps. A lot of people tend to shorten their arms if they have long arms, and I like that you use it all and that you have enough power in your body to be able to use it. So that is something that is very, very important. Overall, I don't really have any notes either. I think that you did amazing. You are one of the contestants who have been remaining consistent week by week in your delivery.
He's been very consistent, and his style is a traditional style. But can he add something to it? Can he give us something different? Mike, let's see what you got.
Get ready for the get down. Get ready for the show. It goes side, side. It's time to get down. It's time to get down. It's time to get down. It's time to get down.
Very interesting submission. Let's see what the judges thought about your submission.
With what's been in my
Mike. Man, this is my first time seeing and experiencing your aesthetic of stepping. I don't want to say that it's elementary, but I would expect more. It felt like this was something that you had done for multiple years and you were filming it, and it had great success and as a group number. I'm not sure that translated as a solo. You know what I mean? Like I was ready. I was like, okay, cool.
Mike, I'm missing the E. The E. I need the E. By E, I mean energy. So I wasn't necessarily upset that you didn't take any risks because this particular challenge was about being traditional. So you said, all right, cool, I'm going all the way back. I'm gonna give you tradition. But because you had simple movements, that means you got to bring that performance level all the way up. There's a way that you can execute the simple movement and it not look like it's simple movement. So I personally kind of think that your energy across the board has kind of been here, you know, and that even when you're executing more difficult steps, you still kind of stay here, right? And so I think when you're on a team, you're probably a very solid source for that team, right? But because you're doing this solo thing, you got to open this thing up.
For me, this felt a little Q-ish. So it sounded, looked, and you had a purple gold shirt on. I was like, oh, this feels like
You mad?
not really, but it just still felt a little Q-ish to me.
It's just tradition, though. It's tradition.
No, it is. But
That's
I mean,
rap brother, so he mad.
even Alpha, even Alpha has, you know, we got some stuff now. We got the ice baby. We got some old traditional stuff. I wouldn't have said go there, but when they kind of stroll to their right or their left, those arms, and it covers your face. So then this shoulder blade is so even if you are moving to the side, you still have to make sure that, you know, it's still over your chest and that this isn't covering to where you're like down and it looks like very uncomfortable. Someone in ballet and then they turn and they whip really quickly. They're whipping their head and they're keeping that. They find a spot on the wall, and they keep that spot. So I would just say, even if you're outside, find a tree. This is the tree that I need to turn back, and this is where I need to end.
He's been a fan favorite, and last week he was safe. But now he's back in the competition, and anything goes. Step Sensei, will you remain the fan favorite? You're up next.
Well, it's the Step Sensei. Yeah. Well, it's the Step Sensei. Yeah. Well, it's the Step Sensei. Come on, move in your ass just to let you know you can do what you got. I spit with it. Yeah, you got my groove. I'm just too smooth with it. Ooh, you got my groove.
Step Sensei said, I'm not going anywhere. Let's see if the judges agree.
Step Sensei, what's up, man? I am so happy that you are a part of this competition. One of the things that I want you to work on is your phrasing of music. You have been able to intersect your chant with your percussive cadence, which shows a level of genius. What you've done is you've found that way to bridge and connect and intersect the two. What is lacking is your counting. For example, in this submission, you went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You stopped on the 5. And then that left us with 3 counts that we're waiting to hear audibly. Finish that 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4.
What up? So I think you start off strong. Your chant starts off strong. It pulls us in. You're giving us your eye contact. It pulls us in. I don't know if it's confidence or if it's focus, but then we lose you towards the middle of the step, especially once you start your spin section, because you spin a few times. Looks like you're losing your balance a couple of times. Looks like when you get to your, I'm assuming these are slides, that's a place where I can really use your arms there, because it looks like a mistake. And only because you do it 2 or 3 more times am I able to say, oh no, that's happening on purpose. But you don't want me to have that first moment of, is that a mistake? So we start to lose that performance value in the middle of it. One moment that I did like, though, is when you got to your deep second and you started with your, I thought that you were gonna give me what everybody else usually gives. And instead you switched up and gave me some elongated arms that came kind of out of nowhere. And they really looked beautiful in that space.
You've been a fan favorite, actually. So every week, everyone is like, Step Sensei, Step Sensei. So that says a lot about what you're doing creatively. I will say, you know, your precision and your quality of movement is definitely amazing. You have an amazing facility. I feel the way that I think Shannon does in terms of it always starts off very strong, and then it's like, I want more, and then I get the most at the end of it instead of the meat being in the middle. But other than that, great job. I don't really have much to say.
Last but not least, this guy kept it smooth, real smooth on the last episode. But tonight, can he bring us a different energy, something new, something fresh? Buddy, you're up next.
You said you want tradition, I'ma do it like this. Let's go! What? Move! 2, stop! Move! You wish you step like this?
Let's see what the judges had to say about you, buddy. You gave us something different for sure.
Buddy, yo, man, listen, great work. Question: did you know that you were performing in a 3/4 structure? Question mark, question mark. Maybe we can put graphics or question mark. Never mind. But yeah, no, I think rhythmically and with the musicality, it's clean, and that's to be expected. You are a practitioner of this art form. The expectation is for that to be a level of perfectionist. Yeah, man. I think great work. You was in it.
So great job, buddy. I think your performance got better as the step went on. I think it started off a little mellow just with your face and what your body was giving us. And then by the time you got to the middle and you got to the training, etc., then it went up. So I appreciated that. But obviously, I want to be able to see your face a little more. I think there's some times when you kind of start doing this. And I think that's just because, performing for a camera, whether it's your phone or whatever, it can be a little weird. But just imagine that the entire space is your audience. You know what I'm saying? And just give it to us like you would if you were on the stage. But great job.
Yeah, really good job. I would say on the precision aspect of it, especially because you are an alpha and I am as well, I think that it could have been a little bit more clean, especially when you were doing your punches and swings, like you were swinging over, but it was swinging over into your face instead of actually keeping it still a swing. Or if you're going to swing, I feel like your head should still be seen, but it was kind of like in your face. I would also say, I know that guys who have dreads, they use them a little bit more, but I think that it made you a little dizzy in some aspects because you were using it so much that when you snapped back into the step, it threw you a little bit off balance. But other than that, with speed, I would say to make sure that you are finishing on the blades for your speed.
Now is the time that we've all been waiting for. Let's see who the judges chose to move on to the 4th round.
Step off, step off, step off. VSO. VSO. VSO.
Well, it looks like the judges have made their final decision on who's moving on to the 4th round. This next challenge is going to be the most difficult yet. So remember to vote for your favorite contestant because one in the adult division and one in the high school division will be safe based upon your votes. Tune in for a special episode next Wednesday, same time, same place. And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
mentally to your mind. You set your sights, please reserve the right to throw it back, throw it back, throw it back, throw it back. Yeah, baby girl, you keep going.